There is a kind of betrayal that feels almost invisible to the outside world, yet it can tear your life apart from the inside. It begins quietly, with subtle changes in how people look at you, speak to you, or avoid you altogether. You sense that something has shifted, but you cannot quite explain why. Behind the curtain, someone has been working carefully, pulling strings, shaping opinions, and rewriting your story without your consent. This is what happens when a narcissist turns others against you. The damage does not come only from their lies. It comes from the silence of friends who stop trusting you, the distance of family who once felt close, and the isolation that grows deeper each day. This video will walk through how narcissists use tactics of manipulation to divide, discredit, and isolate their targets. More importantly, it will show how you can recognize these patterns, protect yourself, and rebuild what was taken. Every section brings you closer to understanding the full picture, and by the end, you will not only see the warning signs more clearly, but also feel a stronger sense of power to rise above them. Understanding the narcissistic personality. A narcissist is not simply someone with high self-esteem. At the core, narcissism is an unstable identity built on fragile self-worth. Because of that fragility, the narcissist must constantly gather admiration, control the narrative around them, and silence anything that threatens their image. What makes this dangerous is not just their inflated ego, but their lack of genuine empathy. They can mimic kindness or concern, but underneath is calculation. To maintain control, they often manipulate, distort, and dominate their environment. When they feel threatened by someone, they do not confront openly. Instead, they begin the subtle work of shaping how others perceive that person. The tactic of division. When a narcissist feels challenged, one of their most reliable weapons is division. They look for cracks in relationships and exploit them. They thrive by isolating their target and surrounding themselves with allies who believe their version of reality. This tactic often takes the form of triangulation. It means pulling in a third person to shift the balance of power. The narcissist positions themselves in the center, subtly guiding others to take sides. Without realizing, they are being used. Over time, the victim becomes isolated, and the narcissist appears stronger, more credible, and more admired. The smear campaign. Few experiences are as painful as discovering that your character has been systematically destroyed when you were not there to defend yourself. Narcissists often engage in smear campaigns, painting their target as unstable, unreliable, or even dangerous. They exaggerate flaws, twist words, and share half-truths designed to spark doubt. They may describe you as difficult, overly sensitive, or always causing drama. These are labels that stick in people's minds because they are vague yet powerful. Even if others do not fully believe the story, the seed of suspicion has been planted. What makes the smear campaign so effective is its quietness. It rarely happens in public confrontation. It happens in whispers, in carefully crafted conversations, in subtle shifts of tone. By the time the victim realizes what is happening, reputations have already been damaged. Gaslighting through others. Gaslighting is the act of making someone doubt their own reality. Narcissists are masters of it, but they do not always do it directly. Sometimes they plant ideas in the minds of others, who then echo those doubts back at the victim. You may hear others downplay your pain, suggest that you are exaggerating, or dismiss your concerns without knowing why they are reacting that way. The truth is, They have absorbed the narrative created by the narcissist. Suddenly, you are not only questioning your experiences, but also facing a wall of people who reinforce that confusion. This method is particularly cruel because it denies you the comfort of validation from people you once trusted. It turns your support network into an echo chamber of the narcissist's manipulations. The performance of victimhood. Another tactic narcissists use is performing victimhood. They position themselves as the one who has been wronged, misunderstood, or mistreated. By playing this role, they invite sympathy from others and frame the actual victim as the aggressor. This performance is often convincing because it comes with emotion, detail, and timing. The narcissist knows when to cry, when to look exhausted, when to tell a story that sparks outrage. Others, unaware of the underlying manipulation, rush to comfort and defend them. The real victim then faces a cruel reversal, being portrayed as the abuser, while the narcissist receives compassion and loyalty. The devastating impact on victims. When people begin to withdraw their trust and support, the impact on the victim is profound. Isolation is one of the most painful outcomes. Relationships that once felt safe become tense or disappear altogether. The sense of betrayal is crushing because the victim loses not only their reputation, but also their community. This isolation leads to deep emotional wounds. Victims often develop anxiety, depression, and a constant sense of hypervigilance. They may replay conversations, wondering how others could believe lies over years of genuine connection. They may blame themselves for not noticing sooner or for not being strong enough to stop it. The worst wound is the loss of self-trust. When others reject you based on distorted stories, it becomes easy to question your own perception. This is exactly what the narcissist wanted. A victim who is silenced, doubting, and alone. Recognizing the signs early. Although it can be difficult to see the manipulation in real time, there are warning signs. Relationships around you may suddenly shift without a clear reason. People may become distant, guarded, or critical in ways that feel out of character. Conversations you thought were private might resurface in distorted ways. Another sign is inconsistency. You may notice that the narcissist acts differently depending on who is present. They may flatter one person while subtly criticizing another. This constant shifting is a method of control, and if you feel caught in the middle, you are likely experiencing triangulation. The earlier you recognize these patterns, the more power you have to protect yourself from deeper harm. Protecting your boundaries. One of the most important steps is learning to guard your boundaries. This means limiting what you share with the narcissist, refusing to engage in gossip, and resisting the urge to explain or justify yourself when lies are spread. Boundaries are not only physical, but also emotional. You do not have to accept every conversation, every guilt trip, or every demand for attention. By holding firm, you weaken the narcissist's ability to use your words or actions against you. It is not about fighting their game. It is about stepping outside of it. Choosing silence strategically. Narcissists thrive on reaction. When you defend yourself passionately, they twist your emotions into further proof of their narrative. When you argue, they paint you as combative. Silence, used strategically, denies them that power. Silence does not mean submission. It means choosing where to place your energy. Instead of exhausting yourself trying to convince people who have already been swayed, you conserve strength for those who are open, for those who matter, and for your own healing. Rebuilding trust with others. Although some relationships may be lost, others can be rebuilt. This takes time, patience, and consistency. People who were manipulated may eventually see the truth, but only if your actions remain steady. Over time, your character speaks louder than the narcissist's lies. Rebuilding also means nurturing new connections. Seek out people who value honesty, empathy, and mutual respect. These relationships may not erase the pain of betrayal, but they can remind you that trust is still possible. Reclaiming self-worth. The deepest damage done by a narcissist is not the loss of others, but the erosion of your own self-worth. Rebuilding it is the most important act of resistance. Begin by separating your identity from the narrative the narcissist created. Their words are not truth. They are tools of control. Affirm your own experiences. Validate your emotions. Write them down. Speak them out loud. Share them with safe people who can witness your reality. Healing also comes through acts of self-care. Whether through therapy, creativity, physical movement, or rest, every small step toward honoring yourself weakens the hold of manipulation. Moving toward freedom. Freedom from a narcissist's manipulation is not about erasing the past. It is about moving forward without carrying their voice inside you. It is about choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and authenticity over performance. The scars will remain, but scars are proof of survival, not weakness. By reclaiming your story, you transform what was meant to break you into a source of strength. Being turned against by others through the manipulation of a narcissist is one of the most isolating and devastating experiences. It can feel like standing in the center of a storm with no shelter. Yet within that storm lies the chance to discover resilience, to learn the value of boundaries, and to rebuild life with deeper truth and authenticity. The purpose of this video has been to warn, to validate, and to guide. If you have been through this, the pain is real, but so is your strength. The whispers of a narcissist do not define you. The distance of others does not erase your worth. You deserve to live free from the shadows of manipulation, connected to those who see you clearly, and rooted in the unshakable truth of your own value.